It's been so long. You know I couldn't stay away from Neo. You know I couldn't. This is my baby. I had to talk about it. You wanna know why? That's right. Up 12.5% today. Up another 4% after hours. Ooh, baby. You know I've been waiting for this kind of break. Oh, baby. I've been waiting for this kind of break. Break me off a piece of that freaking Kit Kat bar. That's all I could tell you. Why is Neo stock on the move today? Well, guess what? They just gave the delivery numbers for October, and they're hot fire numbers. Neo delivered 2,526 vehicles in October, including 2,220 ES6s, obviously their biggest model there, the cheaper model that they sell, and 306 ES8s. That's right. Cumulative deliveries now 26,215. So where does that compare to September? So Neo increased 25% from the already strong delivery in September. 25% from that increase too. That's fantastic. In September, they went ahead and delivered 2019 vehicles. So again, boom, 2,500 is quite a significant increase. 1,700 being ES6s and 293 being ES8s. So obviously that ES8 market didn't necessarily increase, but the ES6 really is their vehicle, and that's what they're pushing more. That's nothing too insane there. That's their vehicle. That's their main vehicle. That's what they're focusing on. That's fantastic. I would say, honestly, as you see from William Lee here, solid sequential improvement in deliveries continued in October, mainly driven by hard work and strong execution by our sales team. That's right, they made the vehicles, they produced them, and they got them sent out nicely. So they just got to keep that up, and it keeps those delivery numbers looking good. Because obviously you can make as many vehicles as you want, but if you're not, selling and delivering them, or even if you're selling them but not delivering them, it doesn't count as your delivery numbers. We appreciate the support from our users and believe in the power of word of mouth as our vehicles and services can continuously evolve and optimize. Meanwhile, we'll continue rolling out Neo Spaces and expanding our sales network to support our future growth. And speaking of future growth, we'll get into that in just a little bit. But here we go. What else brought this bad boy up today? Let's go. More trade positivity. Trump administration officials are considering whether to drop the existing tariffs on 112 billion of Chinese imports that were introduced at a 15% rate on September 1st. That's what I heard. Such a move would meet core Chinese demand as negotiators strive to work on terms of ceasefire to be signed in the coming weeks. U.S. officials also suggested that China could avoid the planned imposed tariffs of 156 billion that was supposed to be kicked off on December 15th. That's right, if they strike a deal. So this would be huge for Chinese stocks. Let's just be honest. This will flock more American investors to them. Obviously, there's a big concern with the Chinese economy right now. It's not necessarily in the kind of spot to survive such a trade war, as it were. Not necessarily trade war. I hate calling it a trade war. It's a minor disagreement. We're working on things. But if this were to be, dropped, these tariffs as is were dropped, and then you also consider dropping the future ones in December. That's significant. That's a significant bump for companies both involved with China and companies that are Chinese companies. Those Chinese companies that have been hit pretty hard because of this news, just because of the impact it could have on the economy. Well, shoot. This could help them a lot, including Neo stock. That's right, baby, Neo. Well, what else do we have about Neo that's exciting? Obviously that's fantastic, but what else do we have considering Neo as we get to the end of the year? Well, obviously we also have here management changes as of the 28th. Wasn't worth making an entire video on, even though it probably could have been. Neo, a pioneer of Chinese premium electric vehicles, announced that Mr. Luis T. Heiche, that's how you spell it, or that's how you say it, has tendered his resignation as chief financial officer of the company. The company has recommended the search for Heiche's replacement and is committing to moving quickly to fill the role. So they're working on filling that role, obviously. It's a pretty big part. A chief financial officer, very big in a company, especially a company like this, where there is some concern regarding profit. Obviously, there's a big concern regarding profit, so it's important for them to figure out, get a good chief financial officer in that seat and see what they could do possibly with this. So it'll be interesting to see who they choose. What else do we have? That's right. You know what we have. The Eve. I've talked about it before. So if all plans still come together, this will be the launch of a U.S. electric car by NIO in 2020. So this is the U.S. version, the U.S. branch of NIO is based in Silicon Valley, as all tech companies are. Literally every single tech company in the United States is. And they could potentially be showing off the NIO and potentially selling it. So this is supposed to be a fully autonomous vehicle. And they're certainly working on getting the networks in place to where they can do this. I mean, the entire design of the vehicle is entirely for autonomy. It's based, I mean, it's like a living room inside your car. It's meant for you to just enjoy a trip. You're supposed to sit down and enjoy a trip. Obviously, there is a concern with this launch when it comes to NIO power networks. Where exactly is that going to exist in America? I haven't heard any updates on anything regarding that. And again, I mean, NIO US is an interesting thing. I haven't really heard much about it. But the original plan was to release this in late 2020. If that still happens, that'd be pretty exciting. Obviously, the Eve is a very cool car. It is the future of vehicles. If they can get this launched in 2020 proper, it'd be pretty interesting to see how that goes. Again, it's still a prototype right now, but we could see a real launch in 2020 potentially. If this business keeps growing, they keep growing that ES6 business, they could go ahead and start launching this Eve. I think it'd be a big hit in the U.S. market personally. We'll have to see. One thing to mention too, I mean, this is a big vehicle, and you can see it here. I mean, that's a long vehicle. Same thing with the NIO ES8. It's very surprising for a Chinese vehicle and a Chinese auto company. Normally they make there's usually very compact vehicles, but NIO makes some large vehicles. I mean, this vehicle's big. Even the Eve is big. The ES8's very big. It's a very big car. So I'm just interested. I'm super interested. I just want to see how in the world this all adds up. Just one last touch again on this delivery note. So I mean, obviously there's a concern regarding price if they do move to the U.S. So if you consider if we're using current yuan to dollar comparisons, I think the average selling price of these vehicles in total, what they sold was somewhere around $58,000 US. So obviously it's a highly priced vehicle. I don't know what that price point is going to look like as far as US releases or anything like that, but obviously it's comparable to pretty comparable. Both the ES6 and ES8 models are pretty comparable to Tesla in terms of that. They certainly do have cheaper models of the ES6. I was basing it off of the performance model, which is, in my opinion, the best model of the ES6. I think it's the one that most people get as well. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. I don't know about you, but I'd say let's keep an eye out for NIO. See how this next month goes, how November goes for them. I'm going to be interested to see if they continue to grow their car deliveries in November. It'll be good to see, even if they keep it consistent. I mean, that's fantastic. We're just looking for growth from here, okay? This could be it's a very good start to a quarter. It'll be very good to see where they end up.